Well, new comic book day is almost here. It's time to take a look at what's coming out so I can tell you what's on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. This is my weekly series where I tell you what's on my pull list. I'll tell you what's on the chopping block and what's on the maybe list that I'll be making a game day decision on for this new comic book day for Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. I had to check the date. I wasn't quite sure. You might notice, by the way, slightly different camera angle. My tripod broke, so decided to just film this with the computer. Might as well, right? Anyway, it's not as crazy of a week this week. Not a ton of books on my list. Get to save a little bit of money, which is always good, but definitely some books I'm excited about this week. The book I'm most excited for, though, is Darkwing Duck, issue number 3, written by Amanda Deibert, with art by Carlo Lauro from Dynamite Comics. Look, through 2 issues, it is a near perfect adaptation of the old school Disney afternoon cartoon. I'm absolutely loving it. You know, I've been on a bit of a Darkwing binge as of late. I've been reading the Aaron Sparrow definitively dangerous edition of Darkwing. And so I've been enjoying that. But I'm also, like I said, enjoying this through the 2 issues I've read so far. Basically, I mean, Darkwing is back in action. But in the last issue, Darkwing kind of comes to a pretty, what's the word? A hasty conclusion that because Goslin is being endangered at times, that he needs to just like hang up being a superhero and focus on being a dad. And so in this issue, he's going to try to convince Morgana to settle down with him and live a very boring non-superhero lifestyle. And I think it's going to be an interesting issue. This is obviously something that is going to differ a bit from the TV show. So I'm curious to see like how it maintains that humor and, you know, it's going to be breaking new ground in ways. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Cause like I said, it's been a near perfect adaptation so far. Nothing but love for Amanda Deibert in this series. And if you're watching, Amanda, prayers to your situation. Much love from me to you and all the Comics Are Dope family, for that matter. Anyway, Darkwing Duck issue number 3. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A and probably cover B. What covers are there this week? I almost always buy multiple Darkwing books, and so let's not kid ourselves. Oh, there's a million of these. I don't know which one I'm buying. I don't know which one I'm buying. Trying not to buy the one that is going to be more. I might go with the Trish Forstner cover this time. I like that one. Anyway, that's what I get for doing this on a computer and actually getting to look at covers while I'm talking to you. So it's not super often that an indie book gets to be the most excited, the book that I talk about first on the pull list. But since we're talking about them, let's talk about the rest of the indies on my list, where this week there's more indies than anything else, which, like I said, is kind of rare. But moving over to Image Comics, let's talk about Gunslinger Spawn issue number 18. Now, I can't lie to you. I'm not caught up on Gunslinger Spawn. I kind of go in and out, and I just keep it on the pull list because I know the art is always going to be good. The story is always going to be good enough. And it almost always has a great cover. Like, look at that cover. Does that not just make you want to buy it? Never mind the fact that it's a cardstock cover and it's only $2.99. Just why? I'm buying it. And that's the cover A that I'm grabbing. Next up on the pull list, also from Image Comics, written by Rodney Barnes. This is Monarch, issue number 2. So issue number 1 of Monarch, we kind of got introduced to the cast of characters. We meet our protagonist, this kid from the inner city, Compton. He's growing up in a group home, kind of like, let's say like Mike. I don't know. And one of the other group home kids just has it out for him, is not excited about him in life, makes things hard on him. And well, as that conflict is going on, there is an alien invasion in Compton. And this issue number 1 ended with quite the twist. This kid, let's just say we're going to learn a little bit more about him, I assume, in issue number 2. And the cover's a pretty good hint of what we're going to learn about. So I'll leave it at that. I'm excited to see how this goes. Like I said, it has a twist that's very similar to the twist at the end of issue 1 of Philadelphia. And I like it so far that it's not as mature content as Philadelphia had been at times. So I'm down for the Rodney Barnes experience. Monarch number 2's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the pull list from Kyle Higgins is No One, issue number 1. So this is written by Kyle Higgins and Brian Buccellato with art by Geraldo Borges. And this is set in the massive verse. It's another massive verse title. This is a 4 or 5 issue miniseries with a companion podcast, which sounds interesting enough. I jumped out of pretty much all of the massive verse because it was expanding too quickly, and I thought, this is too much to keep up with. Well, Kyle was like, yo, you don't have to read like every massive book. Like, read one of them, read all of them, read any one of them, and you'll get enough story. You don't need to read the rest of them. So I was like, all right, let me jump back in with this miniseries because it sounds interesting. 10 months ago, the Richard Roe murders shocked the city of Pittsburgh. In the month since, the killings have sparked a dangerous political movement, copycat killers, and a masked vigilante who's still determined to hold the powerful accountable. Not a symbol, not a hero. They could be anyone. They're no one. The name of the hero is No One. But anyway, interesting enough premise. It's a mini series, so I don't have to be invested for like a year at a time. I'm excited about it. No One. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the indie pull list, speaking of being invested for years at a time, this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Armageddon Game, issue number 6 of 8. I thought Armageddon Game was only 6 issues long. It's 8 issues long. And the last issue I read was number 2. So I couldn't tell you why I'm excited about this. I guess I can't say I'm excited about it. Genuinely, I'm buying it because I want to complete the story. And yeah. Read it eventually. TMNT, The Armageddon Game, issue number 6, has a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the indie pull list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 19. 19 is not right. I wrote that down wrong. What issue of Walking Dead Deluxe are we on? 59. Okay. Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 59. It's The Walking Dead in color, and I'm buying it because where else can you buy The Walking Dead in color? Cover price on this is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for all the indie books on the list. If I stick to the list, and what reason do I have not to? Darkwing. That's the reason not to. But anyway, if I stick to the list, my indies are going to cost me $24 this week. Now let's move on to DC, where I usually have a stacked pull list, and this week there's only one book, and that is Superman Lost, issue number 1. Superman Lost, written by Christopher Priest with art by Carlos Pagulian. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But Superman Lost is a story about Superman being lost. I'm joking. Superman's Odyssey of Solitude. Superman's called away on a routine Justice League mission. Lois Lane awakens to find a complete stranger standing in her living room. It's him. It's Superman. Home much sooner than expected, but he reveals that he's actually been lost in space for 20 years. Nothing's familiar to him anymore, and the timeless bond between them has been severed. Can love conquer all? Interesting. It's a 10-issue self-contained story, and this is Christopher Priest being reteamed with the guy that he did his Deathstroke run with. I've never seen Christopher Priest on like an A-list hero. It can be argued that Black Panther, not just argued, it's a fact, that when Priest was on Black Panther, he was not A-list. Even now, I guess Black Panther's probably considered B-list, Priest has always done great work on basically any character I've ever seen him on. But the fact that he's never really gotten to do like a grade A front line superhero, like on any sort of consistent basis, he's got fill-ins on like pretty much anyone. But I'm excited to see what a Christopher Priest Superman story is like. I'm expecting all of the Christopher Priest isms. I'm expecting time jumps. I'm expecting, some sort of racial humor somehow. I'm expecting to be really confused at times and really drawn in at other times. I'm expecting all of that over the course of the next 10 months. And I'm willingly signing up for it. I'm excited. Let's go. Superman Lost #1. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's the only DC book on the pull list this week. It's going to cost me $5. Now let's move over to the House of Ideas with Marvel Comics. The first book on the pull list this week is one I'm actually really excited about. This is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue #4. If you've been reading Spider-Man or Miles Morales by Cody Ziegler with art by Federico Vincentini, let me tell you, the story's been pretty good. The art's been amazing, and it's a great book. It's the best Spider-Man book out right now. So take that for what you will. I've been really enjoying it. In the last issue, we got the origin of this new Miles Morales Rogues Gallery member whose name is Rabble. What causes her to become a villain is very interesting to me. The connection that she has to Miles is also very interesting to me. And the technology she has at her disposal, the knowledge and information she has at her disposal, make her a very formidable opponent. So I'm excited to see how this confrontation finally goes in issue #4, because we are getting Miles versus Rabble. I was going to say to the death. It's not to the death. They're going to fight though. And so we're going to see just how it goes. And, as we teeter toward an end for this first story arc, I'm really excited about this run. I'm hoping that it's a nice, long, great, productive run. Spidey versus Rabble is on shelves this week in Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 4 with a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing the cover A. And the last book on my pull list this week from Marvel Comics and Benjamin Percy is Wolverine issue #31. So, if you're not a big fan of the stuff that's going on in the Sins of Sinister event, I don't blame you. I'm not a big fan of Mr. Sinister's voice, and Sinister's like taking over every character in all those books. But the stuff that Ben Percy's been doing in his little corner of the X universe has been pretty good. If you aren't familiar, basically Beast, who is, de facto leader of the X-Force, has been using Wolverine for his own nefarious purposes. He's been a little crooked like this whole time that we've been in the whole Krakoa era. But slowly but surely, his evil side is coming straight up to the forefront. Logan is, among the first to kind of call him on his BS. And the conflict between Logan and Wolverine grew to quite an extreme point in issue 30. And in issue 31, Beast is going to have his revenge somehow. Very excited about this era of, like I said, Ben Percy's whole X-Force and Wolverine sort of twin towers of books. Quietly in the corner, but good storytelling. Wolverine 31. It's got a cover price of $3.99. Hopefully the art's better than it has been, but it's great. I'm going to grab the cover A. And that is it for the Marvel books on my pull list. If I stick to the list, my Marvel books are going to cost me $8, which brings my grand total for the week up to $37. I'm $13 under budget, which gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I'll probably buy a Darkwing Duck variant, maybe two, depending on what my shop has in stock. Oh, the Mirka Andolfo cover is great. That's the one I'm getting. Anyway, stick to the list. They'll cost me $37, but the way my eyes are looking, they're going to cost me what? $45? And now suddenly I'm back up to regular budget totals. What are you grabbing this week? What are you excited about? How are you feeling about your weekly comics habit here lately? Got to give a huge shout out to the people that make this video possible and every video on the channel. So the channel family is scrolling across the screen right here, there, right now. If you'd like to support the channel in the same way and get access to some behind the scenes videos and extra content, then consider clicking the join button down below. And until next time, I don't know what you're reading, but hopefully it's something dope. I'll see you soon. Peace.